안녕하세요. Welcome everybody. My name is Chulsoo and you are here at Chulsoo Hangeul. This is a TV program where you'll be able to learn some common Korean phrases and then be able to use those phrases even to surprise your Korean friends and make them go crazy. So if you're here to do that, that's great. If not, that's not a problem. You should go ahead and change the channel though. Okay, so you guys ready to get started? All right, today's topic is going to be titles. So what we took a look at last week was the Korean drama Special Labor Inspector Jo. So we're gonna continue with that particular drama, talking about titles. Now, what I mean by titles, you can go to school and you have people that work there, they're called teachers. Or you might go to a restaurant and the person who owns the restaurant, you can refer to them as the owner of the restaurant. Now, typically when we refer to those people, we don't call them by teacher or owner or their particular title. For example, you don't always call a person teacher Sally, or you don't go to a restaurant and say owner Sue. Okay? However, in Korean, that's exactly what you do. Now, you'll hear a lot of these titles very often in Special Labor Inspector Jo as well as other Korean dramas. So let's take a look. Now, the first one we're going to look at is 선생님. 선생님. Okay, if I say it a little faster, 선생님. 선생님. All right, go ahead and give it a shot. Now, 선생님 refers to teacher. Now, let me give a little bit of history about how this fits into Special Labor Inspector Jo. Cho Jang-pung, the main character of the show, he graduated in judo, in the sport judo. He's very good at it, and you'll see some scenes of him doing it in the show, both in the current time, but also in the past. Now, in addition to graduating from judo, he also became a PE teacher. So whenever his students would see him, they would call him teacher. They would refer to him as 선생님. He has a name in the drama, it's Cho Jang-pung. However, there's not a lot of people that really actually call him by that name. If you notice, they call him 선생님 for his students or the people that really respect him.
선생님.
So whenever you hear them refer to him as 선생님, they're saying teacher. They're saying teacher, okay? Now, in addition, when you refer to someone as 선생님, it is a way of showing them more respect in Korean. It's not that often that you'll go around to people and calling them by their names unless it's somebody that you know, like a peer. Otherwise, you typically call them by their title. So in this particular case, 선생님 is how they refer to Cho Jang-pung. Everyone got it? Okay, here's another one. 사장님. 사장님. Give it a shot. 사장님. 사장님. Now in English, this will be referred to as something like boss or mister. And so 사장님 refers to a person who is your boss, the one who you're reporting to for work, or who might even be the owner of a particular company. Now again, we don't really, in English, you wouldn't go up to a person and call them owner. Or instead of calling them boss, it might be more common to refer to them as Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. However, in Korean, you can just refer to them as 사장님. 사장님. So you'll hear this many times in the drama. Here's an example.
사장님, 이해합니다. 이해해요. 아니, 근데 말씀드렸잖아요. 출석 요구서만 수십 번도 돌렸구만.
근로기준법상 사장님은 빼박이거든요. 최저시급 위반에 야간수당 미지급에 사장님이 나한테 욕하고 돈 떼먹은 증거 다 있다고요, 여기.
All right, did you guys catch that? So again, that's 사장님. 사장님 to mean boss or Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. Okay, here's one more. This one is a little bit more difficult, so only try this one if you're really gonna challenge yourself. The last one is referring to Cho Jang-pung's position. 근로감독관님. 근로감독관님. What does that mean? If you guessed labor inspector, then you are correct. That is his position in the show, the main character. And so for people who are not his students, maybe other people that work with him or some of his clients, you might hear them refer to him as 근로 감독관님, or for short, 감독관님, which would roughly translate to Mr. Inspector or Mr. Labor Inspector. So this is another example of a title that's used in Korean. If you know any labor inspectors, be sure to call them by that title.
사고는 막을 수 없었습니다.
그런 거 조사하고 막으라고 국민들이 월급 주는 거 아닙니까?
공무원이? 아 그렇지 뭐. 아 그러니까 철망통이라고 하자냐?
최단금 신청 서류 하나 작성하는 것도 노무사선이 말이에요. 월급 떼인 것도 억울한데 노무사 비용까지 더 드려야 한다니까. 솔직히 이럴 거면 그런 감독관이 왜 있나 싶다니까요.
Okay, now a couple of more things I'm gonna add to the very end. So, you can hear 님. So, 선생님, 사장님, 근로감독관님. 님 is a ending that you'll add to the end of each of these words to show respect, even more respect for that person. So if you, for example, have a teacher and you want to refer to that teacher, you wouldn't really call them 선생. Okay, if you really want to respect that teacher and show them some respect, then you'll say 선생님. Same thing for 사장님. Same thing for 근로감독관님. And another point I'm going to let you all know is that sometimes you call a person by their last name, or you can even put their first name in front of the particular title. For example, let's say you know somebody, a Korean person, their last name is Kim, and they're a teacher, or you want to refer to them as 선생님, no problem. You can say Kim 선생님, Kim 선생님. You might hear that a lot in the show or in any other Korean drama. Okay, so if up until now you were kind of wondering, well, this person's name is this, but I never hear them called by their actual name, it's because they're probably called by a particular title. Okay, so you can add their name in front. For example, if you want to add their full name and you want to say 사장님, you can say Chulsoo 사장님, Chulsoo 사장님. Or for short, you can just say their last name, 사장님. 사장님. Okay, so let's review one more time. You learned 3 different titles in Korean, titles which are more commonly used, I would say, than a person's name. The first one is 선생님, which means, you got it, teacher. Second, 사장님, which means, you got it, boss or Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. And third, this is the hard one, okay? Only for the people who are gonna challenge themselves. 근로감독관님. All right, very good, everyone. It was good to see you again this week. Now, I'm going to say, just like I did last week, please challenge yourself, okay? Just by watching this show once a week or twice a week, 10 minutes per show, it's not going to up your Korean game unless you really put the effort in. So I challenge each and every one of you that are watching this show, take this phrase, go out with your Korean friends and try to use each one twice. Try to use each one 2 times. That means by the next time you're seeing me again, you will have used 선생님, 사장님, 근로감독관님 2 times, okay? All right, if you enjoyed Chulsoo Hangeul, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's going to help us a lot. And you know what? Leave some comments as well. If there's some particular Korean phrase that you want to know or something that you heard in the show that you want me to explain, not a problem. Leave a comment. I'm gonna do my best to make a video about it, okay? All right, this is Chulsoo from Chulsoo Hangeul, and I will say to all of our viewers, 또 만나요.